Hello and welcome to our presentation. We are Group 7. My name is Lilo Veneri and the other members of our group are Lucy Jarrett, Dominic Snowball, Jamie Milley and Stuart Harper. Our presentation outlining our progress to date consists of 11 slides and will last approximately 9 to 10 minutes. Firstly, we will introduce our procurement strategy and different options. You will then be shown our sources of research, followed by each of us talking about our progress to date and what we have left to do to complete the task. Finally, ending our presentation with our challenges we have faced during this task.
I'm Stuart, and this slide identifies 3 procurement strategy options. Construction projects have a number of risks associated with them. These risks can be reduced in the development of the project. By using a good procurement strategy, we can hopefully reduce the risk of not meeting the client's original requirements. These risks could be late completion, over budget, or wrong specification. The procurement strategy we use will need to be developed to balance the risks against the objectives as early as possible. There are key questions that need to be answered by the client's project team before choosing a procurement strategy. These are quick construction and certainty of completion date, or cost certainty, or high quality and good functioning project.
The next 2 slides will summarise our sources of research to date. As you can see, we have divided up the work amongst the group and individually carried out research using a variety of sources on our given subjects. The following table across 2 slides demonstrates how we have split the work up and what we've researched to date. My name's Jamie and I've carried out research on the assessment of the supply market and identification of suitable suppliers.
I'm Stuart, and I've proposed an appropriate procurement strategy and a process for selection of potential suppliers.
My name's Dominic and I've prepared an outlined supply chain map.
My name's Lucy and I've considered the opportunities and risks for cost and time reduction and included the structure.
Hi, my name is Lilo and I've assessed a contribution to achieve low carbon construction projects.
My name's Jamie, and for the next few slides we will each be demonstrating our progress to date and what we still need to complete for our projects. So far I have recognised what a company would expect from their supply chain. I've tried to establish what I would expect a client's expectations to be when it comes to procuring a concrete frame and what should be considered most important elements. I've also tried to understand particular supply and demand and common issues with a concrete frame construction which the client may face. I've also demonstrated a typical upstream-downstream diagram for a concrete frame subcontractor supply chain management process to try and understand the dependencies that subcontractor will face. In terms of what I believe still needs to be done, I need to tailor the list of current suppliers I've found and ensure that the subcontractors and their suppliers still meet the client's requirements of being able to resource a project in London building a commercial property or a residential building.
I'm Stuart, and I identified the 3 procurement strategies which will apply to these directly to the concrete frames industry. Once we've done this, we can identify which strategy we feel will benefit the client most. I still have to do is a process for selection of potential suppliers. Decided that we're going to look at different companies' ways of doing it, and we will then choose which process we feel suits most.
My name is Dominic and I'm going to be preparing a supply chain map. So far we have researched different types of supply chains that there are, and most of them go into varies in different level of detail. The one though I am going to be focusing on is the 3-tier supply chain map, with the client's product being a concrete frame, then below that his main contractors, and then who they go out to, so the suppliers for cement, sand, labour and timber, etc. It's going to be based on a just-in-time method. More research is to be done on the lower tier suppliers.
I'm Lucy and I've considered the risks and opportunities and time and cost reduction. I've researched and I now understand how to manage and reduce costs, but I still need to carry out research to identify further risks and ways to reduce time and costs, and also need to provide a cost structure breakdown for concrete as a product.
Hi, I am Lilo. I'll be assessing the contribution to achieve low carbon construction projects. Through my research, I've devised 4 stages of the construction process to be thoroughly reviewed and planned from the outset in order to reduce CO2, preferably striving for zero carbon. Stage 1, design. I have found out that limiting scope changes from the outset will reduce the CO2 emissions in the long run. Stage 2, manufacture. Through my research, I found out that cement produces 5% of global CO2 emissions. In the Middle East, they have seen this high CO2 emissions and have developed a ready-mix concrete which reduces this 5% by 93%. In the UK, suppliers are starting to use recycled content in order to reduce the CO2 of concrete. Stage 3, distribution. Dominic touched on this earlier. Locally sourced labour and material have less embodied energy in comparison to imported materials. The fourth stage, construction, CO2 emissions from on-site operations. In our case, in situ concrete in comparison to precast concrete. In situ has high wastage of timber as well as concrete. Precast has less wastage, more controlled manufacturing process, better quality, therefore less CO2. Still to be done, further research into further options or processes in order to reduce carbon on construction projects, potential research outside concrete, i.e. looking at waste, skips, transport, geography, and finally further research into the carbon tax being implemented next year. On the next 2 slides, we have compiled a list of queries that we need feedback on for our report. These can also be found in our executive summary.
Challenges we've faced. We've faced three main challenges. The first one being time restraints. This is due to the scheduling of our university day and each group member's location and work and other current module commitments. We have found it particularly challenging to hold weekly meetings and complete weekly actions. And the second one is understanding. We have found it difficult to understand what exactly is required for this assignment. And lastly is communication. We find it difficult to transfer our ideas from discussions at the meetings onto paper.
Thanks for listening. You will find a copy of our queries and questions as an appendix to our executive summary. We look forward to your response.